Redneck jokes, Rednecks jokes. Why do rednecks like having sex doggy style? That way they can both watch wrestling. Q. What do you call a redneck bursting into flames? A. Firecracker. What do rednecks call duct tape? Chrome. Q. What's the last thing you usually hear before a redneck dies? A. Hey y'all. Watch this. Did you hear about the new $3 million Tennessee state lottery? The winner gets $3 a year for a million years. How do you end a party in a trailer park? Flush the punch bowl. Q. Why did the redneck hijack a plane and demand to be taken to jeopardy? A. Because he was told that 1,000 jobs were in jeopardy. Why do folks from Tennessee go to the movie theater in groups of 18 or more? 17 and under are not admitted. What do you call a goat on a mountain? Hillbilly. Why did O.J. Simpson want to move the Tennessee? Everyone there has the same DNA. Why do ducks fly over trailer parks upside down? There's nothing worth craping on. Q. What does a redneck do when his dishwasher stops working? A. Slap her on the ass and tell her to get back to work. How can you tell if a redneck is married? There is tobacco spit stains on both sides of his pickup truck. Q. What happens when Southern people can't talk anymore? A. They go through withdrawal. Q. How do you know that the toothbrush was invented by a redneck? A. Anyone else would have called it a teeth brush. What's the difference between Virginia and West Virginia? In Virginia, Moosehead is a beer. In West Virginia it's a misdemeanor. Q. Why do ducks fly over Arlington upside down? A. There's nothing worth craping on. Q. What are the only two seasons a redneck can name? A. Football and construction. Q. Why don't they allow rednecks into SeaWorld? A. Because fishing poles are not allowed. What is a redneck's defense in court? Honest, Your Honor, I was just helping the sheep over the fence. What's the difference between Helen Keller and a redneck? She got famous for not being able to read. What do they call it in Kentucky? Lifestyles of the rich and famous. How many rednecks does it take eat a possum? 2. 1 to eat, and 1 to watch for cars. Why did God invent armadillos? So that rednecks can have possum on the half shell. What can a pizza do that a redneck can't do? Feed a family of 4. Q. Why didn't the possum cross the road? A. Because in the trailer park he's the other white meat. Q. How does an redneck get a girlfriend? A. By responding to a message on the wall of a men's room at a truck stop. Q. How do you castrate a redneck? A. Kick his sister in the mouth. Q. What's the difference between a southern zoo and a northern zoo? A. A southern zoo has a description of the animal on the front of the cage, along with a recipe. Q. How did the redneck die from drinking milk? A. The cow fell on him. Q. What's 40 feet long and has only 14 teeth? A. The front row at a Garth Brooks concert. Q. What should you do if you find 3 rednecks buried up to their neck in cement? A. Get more cement. Q. How do rednecks fish? A. With dynamite. Q. What do rednecks and a bottle of beer have in common? A. They're both empty from the neck up. Q. Why do rednecks drive old pickup trucks? A. So they can park in handicap spaces. Q. What do cow pies and cowgirls have in common? A. The older they get, the easier they are to pick up. Q. How do rednecks spend the first week of the school year? A. Studying the Miranda rights. Q. What do you call a 13-year-old girl from Kentucky who can run faster than her 6 brothers? A. A virgin. Q. What's the difference between a redneck and poor white trash? A. A redneck will knock his sister up, poor white trash will marry her. Q. What do you get when you have 32 rednecks in the same room? A. a full set of teeth. Q. Which sexual position produces the ugliest children? A. Ask a redneck. How do you piss of a redneck? Tell him you lost all his meth. Have you seen the film about the tractor? It's really good. I have seen the trailer. Rednecks don't need pickup lines cause they got pickup trucks. Redneck sext message, you can't handle the tooth. You might be a redneck if your blood alcohol content has ever exceeded your IQ. You might be a redneck if you think lol means low on liquor. You might be a redneck if you have a home that's mobile and 3 cars that aren't. You might be a redneck if Thanksgiving was ruined because you ran out of ketchup. You might be a redneck if your daughter's Sweet 16 is sponsored by Budweiser. You might be a redneck when you use a weed eater for a blender. You might be a redneck if burning lighter fluid is your favorite smell in the world. You might be a redneck if you think the last words to the Star-Spangled Banner are, play ball. You might be a redneck if your school hands out race tickets for perfect attendance. You might be a redneck if more than one living relative is named after a Confederate Civil War general. You might be a redneck if you own all the components of soap on a rope, except the soap. You might be a redneck if you owe the taxidermist more than your annual income. You might be a redneck if you are still holding on to Confederate money because you think the South will rise again.